So guys, this will be recorded. You guys can watch this back later. I'll give you the same disclaimer I gave them. If my speed is too fast, when you watch this on YouTube, scale it back to 75%. You can listen to me. I have no control over how fast this comes out. I know I talk fast. It's just going to keep going out there. The key thing is, if you missed something, didn't hear something, I'm not offended at all. Raise your hand. I'll try to slow it down or say it in a different way. But please, make sure you ask. Make sure we know what's going on. Okay? We ready?
Ready.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared.
Action.
All right, guys, you have three things that make up food. Protein, carbohydrates, fats. All right? Proteins, carbohydrates, fats. Everything's going to fall into one of those three categories for the most part. Vegetables, I'll put in their own category. Beans and fiber, I'll put in their own category. Okay? Other than that, protein, carbs, and fat is really what you're looking at when you look at food. Now, so many people overcomplicate this in the fact that they want to weigh their food, or they want to track how many calories they're doing, or they want to count points with Weight Watchers, when really if you just understand what each item does, where you get them from, and the right time of day, there's no food that you should ever be excluded from what you eat. We eat pizza every Sunday night with a piece of chocolate cake from Slice of Life on Little Road, if anybody knows of that place. We don't even have to really, we just call, like, hang up, and they deliver. Like, that's it. We're like, yeah, and like they know what's happening, all right? You don't have to feel guilty about it. It's planned. We know. They know. So that's how it goes. What you need to know is this. Protein, all right? Protein, from this point forward, what I should think about it is something that flew, walked, or swam during its life cycle, okay? Or anything that it produced. So an egg would fall under that. Chicken, turkey, beef, pork, if somebody said they're allergic to pork, whatever. But all those things that flew, walked, swam, or came from one of those, that's a protein, all right? So the next thing I want to do is talk about a definition. What is metabolism?
How fast you burn your calories.
How fast you burn your calories, I'll take that. Anybody else have anything to add to that? I think it's a great answer. What else? Come on.
Where your energy stems from?
How many people think they have a slow metabolism? How many people think they have no metabolism? All right. If you laughed, if you're blinking, breathing, in here, you have a metabolism, and it's working because otherwise you'd be dead. All right? So you have to have a metabolism. Everybody in here does. The key thing is it's not just the rate in which your body breaks down calories. The second part after the comma is in order to sustain life. Okay? Your metabolism keeps you alive. So if you can blink, if you can talk, if you can move, your metabolism is working. Is it working as fast as it should? Probably not. That's why we're here. Okay? So, but that's what we need to understand is anything that flew, walked, swam sustained life. Okay? A potato did not sustain life. Your peanut butter did not sustain life. Your soy did not sustain life. Your tofu did not sustain life. All right? Those things sustain life. So they're going to contain a different breakdown of amino acids to help benefit you the same way it benefited them. It's the life cycle continuing on. Now, it doesn't mean there's not a place for carbs and fats. There definitely is. But when you're looking at the protein, that's what we're going to call it. Now, a lot of people say peanut butter, right? You guys think peanut butter has protein? 4 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat. Is it a fat or is it a protein?
It's a fat. It's a fat.
It's a fat, yeah. Do we have any vegans in here before we go any further? Do we hear this story already?
Yes.
All right, no vegans, no vegetarians. Cool, I love it. So I won't offend anybody today. So the thing you gotta know about protein is it does everything reversing what you did to it during the day. So every bit of stress, everything you broke down, sore muscles from working out, holding the kids on the hip all day, all the different things that you did, your protein is helping to repair, nourish, rebuild, but more than anything, burn, okay? What I like to equate protein is if you're making a fire and you had to go buy the logs from like Home Depot that are stacked in that little mesh, or if you live up north and you got them delivered to your house, that's your protein. Your clean, efficient source that doesn't smoke extra, it burns hot, it's very efficient, and it burns a long time. That's gonna be your protein. When we get to carbs, what I want you to think about the carbs is that's your lighter fluid. That's your sticks, that's your paper. It's a quick flash, it burns hot, but it fizzles out real fast, okay? So carbs are gonna be your energy. You can't light a log on fire and expect this log to get on fire. You can put a bunch of sticks and kindling and things and then get that fire started and it'll burn that log for a long time. Okay, so what you want to remember is with carbs, that's pasta, potato, bread, rice, fruit, and I put in quotes there, sugar. Those are all carbs, all right? They're not all created equal. So when somebody says don't eat carbs, what they really mean is just don't eat that. Really? But so many people can't handle that. They're just like, I eat no carbs, all right? How many people have heard of a keto diet? Or ketogenic diet? Yeah, it's just basically you just don't ever eat carbs. Yeah, it's so tough to do, and it's like one of those things. It's like, to me, like, I like carbs. Like, I hope you guys do too. The one thing I always tell everybody is they do two things for you. They give you energy and they make you
Happy.
happy. All right? I like it. Somebody say bread and make a frown face. Bread. Doesn't happen, right? Makes you happy. All right. So with this, what you want to remember is carbs, depending if it's like fruit or sugar, are going to last maybe anywhere from, bless you, 30 seconds up to 30 minutes maybe on something like orange juice, an apple, a banana. You know, it's going to maybe hold you over in your hunger a little bit, but nothing more than maybe 30 minutes or so. When you take a sweet potato, when you take a potato, rice, that could be up to 2 hours. Okay. The other thing that adds to that is when you start mixing this with this, or this with this, is now these carbs last in your system a lot longer. Okay. So what happens is with carbohydrates, and where we get into a lot of trouble is every time we eat a meal, our blood sugar goes up. Okay. This is BS. That stands for blood sugar. Please. All right. So every time that we eat carbs, our blood sugar goes up. What does our body release to knock that down? Does anybody know a diabetic?
Yes.
Oh, insulin. That's all you got to say, right? Diabetic. So your body releases insulin. If you're a diabetic, your body doesn't release enough of it, or else that would keep going up and up. So they actually inject insulin to knock the blood sugar down. What you need to know about carbs, though, is when your blood sugar goes up, say this is like an hour-and-a-half window from here to here. When the insulin actually hits, it's going to be about half the time. So that's going to take maybe an hour and a half to get here, but in 45 minutes, you're going to hit this crash, and that's 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. Okay? That was after your oatmeal or your cereal or your coffee with sugar, and then you hit that first dead spot of the day. All right, when we get here, do we crave a hard-boiled egg or chicken breast?
No.
No way. What do we crave? Cookie. Cookie, crackers, chips, more coffee with sugar, donuts, right? The good stuff. Because your brain is smart, all right? Your brain knows that I'm gonna get energy from carbs, not from fat, not from protein. It knows it's gonna get energy from carbs. So that's where when you get to this point, we eat more carbs. Then we get to lunch, blood sugar starts to drop. We eat lunch again, now we have this monster carb meal. And then we hit 2:30 and we feel awful. Okay, we're tired, irritable, grouchy, bitchy, cranky, moody. Insert word there. All right, so when you get to that point, that's where you're like, oh, I just don't have energy anymore, or I need more coffee, or it's not a lack of caffeine, it's just what you're putting in your body. Okay, it's just your fuel.
Okay.
So we're gonna get to how to eat carbs and balance carbs and stuff like that. But really, if you take this same example, and you took that same oatmeal, you took that same apple, you take that same thing that you ate in the morning to spike your blood sugar, and you added just a little bit of protein, it takes forever for that blood sugar to spike, it doesn't get as high. And then we get right here, you're already eating a snack anyway, it goes here. You have lunch, it goes here, and you just keep that going on and on. So you have these little waves, not this boom, and crash, and boom, and crash. All right, and a lot of it just comes from not planning or not knowing, okay? So that's gonna be as far as with carbs. The next one's fats, and then we'll talk about how to put this all together. So fats come from like nuts, oils, meat, avocado, coconut, different things like that. Does anybody know how to differentiate saturated fat and unsaturated fat?
Huh?
Give it to me. A saturated fat and unsaturated fat.
Oh, okay. I heard
Like
something.
butter is saturated.
Which one's healthy? Let's start with that.
Unsaturated.
Unsaturated. Okay, so one is
Butter is saturated. And
butters.
Whatever
Stuff on
stays
the steak.
liquid is the unsaturated, like olive oil and all that, and then whatever you like bacon grease, how delicious it is when you cook it, and then it gets all nasty and.
So what's the
white,
difference between the two?
The solid.
There you go. Solid at room temperature is a saturated fat.
Right.
Liquid at room temperature is an unsaturated fat. The liquid, the olive oil and canola oil, all those different things, they help lubricate your joints. They help keep you moving. They make your blood less sticky. They make it so everything can flow. They make your brain respond better. Those are good fats. Saturated fats, when you think about the bacon grease, that's a perfect analogy. What does that do to your blood? What does that do to your digestion?
Oh,
So when you start thinking about that, that's the other side of it. It's like back in the 80s, everybody was afraid of fat. Well, really, it's just the wrong kind of fats. So once you know what your fat does, it really makes a big difference. The other thing it helps you do, when I talk about that fire analogy, that's your wet log. Okay, so everybody's had a fire at night, spray it down, think the fire's out, they come out the next morning and it's still smoldering. That's your wet log, that's your fats. They take a long time to break down. There's a lot of wasted energy with all that smoke and everything else, but they keep you full, AKA they keep the fire going. Okay, so the way we're gonna look at it is carbs are always gonna be before activity, and when you're sedentary and lazy, that's when you do your fats. Okay, protein can be every single meal all throughout the day, but again, you wanna take your fats, put those at times when you need to hold over hunger, so late at night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because if you ate carbs, you go, and at 10 o'clock, you're ready for the next one. And at midnight, you're ready for the next snack.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay? So fat's going to be that bridge that holds you over. So when we're talking about this right here in this example, fats are the bridge that takes you from meal to meal. All right, that's going to be what holds you over. So let's talk about how I gets to put this all together. So when you're looking at your meals, every single meal, for the most part, should always have some sort of protein source. The only exception would maybe be your snacks, but like breakfast, lunch, dinner should have protein. It's what your body burns with. It's what it needs, okay? Now, in order in the morning to get that fire started, I would normally say carbs, okay? Carbs and protein are going to get you that energy to get out of bed, get out of the house, get moving, all right? And they're also going to sustain you over because you have that protein to carry you to 10, 10:30, something like that, where you would put in another snack. So what's a good breakfast item?
Hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs, that would be your protein. And what would be the carbs?
Okay.
Toast? Okay, so I heard eggs and toast, I like that. Okay, I heard oatmeal, what would that be? Oatmeal's your carb, so what could you have with oatmeal?
Nuts.
What would nuts be?
Your fats.
Fats, we want protein.
Oh.
So we're going here. What did somebody say?
Egg whites.
Egg whites, are we just gonna call eggs and every type of egg? What about frittatas? What else besides eggs? Let's get a little creative.
Bacon.
Bacon, I like that. Now, bacon or like, what kind of
Bacon.
All right, so bacon. It's
Is
going to
there
be
any
like a
other
little
kind?
bit here and a lot down here. Okay, so when you see like animal meats, now bacon is not an off-limits food by any means. Like bacon actually isn't great for like your nighttime stuff, really, because it'll help keep you full. So when you're looking at protein, Canadian bacon though would be a good option that you could do in the morning. It's not bacon, no. I'm part Canadian,
So,
But so here, yeah, I'm gonna write Canadian bacon. You can omit that obviously, but it could be, you can do egg whites in the back. You can do the other. But yeah, when you're looking at that, I mean, like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. If you like those types of things, that's a good option. If you like protein, if you like actual like chicken, you can make an actual omelet in the morning. So we have people that do all sorts of different things. You can take a muffin tin and basically in a bowl, mix a bunch of eggs or egg whites, mix it all up, and then pour a little bit of that egg batter into each one of the muffin tins. Add a few green peppers, add a couple mushrooms, whatever you like, a little shredded
ham.
cheese, ham. 10 minutes, 350, and you have all these little egg souffles. You can pop those out, put them in little plastic baggies. You can eat them as you're driving to work. No mess, no bad meal, and no golden arches stop. Okay? Now that along with like a banana, an apple, a thing of orange juice, it's a perfectly balanced breakfast and it's going to keep you full.
Now, is
Okay?
it homemade orange juice or like wild orange juice?
I don't have time for that.
Wild orange juice has a lot of sugar.
My ladies back there said they need quick, convenient, and healthy.
Okay.
So you buy that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to make it, it's always healthier. And that's, we got into it at the very end yesterday talking about, guys, there's always going to be a healthier version of something. Yes, you can go organic. Yes, you can go no hormones. Yes, you can go whatever. I'm going to talk the basics. Start with the basics and get better every day. Okay? If you want to make those leaps into no artificial sweeteners, you want to make the leaps into no gluten or no whatever, I'm not going to say no to anything. You guys create your own no's. All right? So really when it comes down to that, yeah, those would all be awesome options. Okay? So when you're looking at these different things, I'll put egg muffins and fruit.
Omelet.
Yeah. So now, let's talk about the reverse side. What if you weren't active in the morning? What would be something you could do for a breakfast?
Oh, protein bar?
Come on, girl.
Oh, the protein? Yeah, the bacon.
What's another fat that you can put with your protein? So it could be like a same type meal, but it's an omelet now with bacon and cheese and vegetables
And
things.
avocados.
And avocados. What are those things? Proteins, fats.
Fats.
That's now going to hold you over. So say, for instance, you have something where you're not going to be able to eat till lunch, okay? That would be your breakfast. If you need a little bit more energy, you could still throw a little carb with it because the carb will give you a little energy and the fats will hold you over along with the protein, all right? But if you know you're going to have a snack at 10 o'clock, don't go that heavy. There's no reason to eat that heavy, all right? You're going to get out what you put in. So if you eat bacon sandwiches every morning, that's what you're going to get. All right, but it doesn't mean there's not a place for it, all right? So it just depends on what your next meal is. And that's kind of what I always tell everybody is think ahead. Like, when's the next time you're going to eat? How long do you need this meal to hold you over for? And what are you doing during that time? Okay? So from 10 o'clock till noon, if you know you're running around racing and stuff like that, a piece of fruit's probably a great option. Something with some carbs would be a great option. But if you know that you're going to go more than 30 minutes to 2 hours before you eat again, put some fat with it so it holds you over a little bit longer. Okay? Does that all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Is that the simplest thing you've heard? You guys can figure out every other meal from this point, but we're going to keep going. All right, so lunch. What should we do at lunch? We all hit that 2 o'clock, 2:30 feeling, right? Where we kind of hit that. You guys work for the government, so you guys are probably already like sleeping at that point. Yeah?
Yeah,
True story.
for sure.
True story. I mean, hey, listen, I see how our roads get built and all that stuff. We know how things move, but no. Sorry. All right, so when we're looking at that stuff, look, some people know the truth. I'm just saying. We got the people crying up here in the front. So when you're looking at that stuff, you really got to look at like what your lunch is, what time, and when the next time you're going to eat. Are you going all the way till 5 o'clock? Or are you somebody at your desk you can snack something at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or something along those lines? So when you're looking at lunch, what should be in it?
Carbs and protein.
Carbs and protein? Okay. What if you're going all the way till like from noon till say 3? Would you put some fats?
Fats.
You could. The other thing that's really good to hold you over would be vegetables and beans, any type of fiber and things like that, okay? But my suggestion is save the salad, save the vegetables, save the beans, save all that stuff for dinner when you can't necessarily do carbs. Eat the things you enjoy at lunch. It gives you a lot more freedom. You have hours to burn it off as opposed to eating, sitting on the couch, and then going to bed, okay? So it's really a good idea to put your biggest meal is gonna be here at lunchtime. When you start doing it that way, really, you can do a protein, a carb, a fat, you can put a little bit of everything with it. Okay? So when you're looking at that, what's an example of a lunch?
So I
Chicken and potato, I heard? Pizza. Hold that for just 1 second. I told you to bring that up, so hold the pizza for just a second. So I heard chicken. Chicken and potatoes just sounds like diet food. Are we eating?
Well,
Would you really eat
lunch-
chicken and potatoes otherwise?
I want tacos with brown rice.
Tacos with brown rice. Can we do that? Yes? Is there going to be some sort of meat in your taco?
Yes.
Done. Cool. I love it. When you're looking at this, guys, this is how I want you to go. When you're going here, this is your T-bone, this is your potato, this is your broccoli. When you're looking at your plate, this is what I want you to do from this point for the next 6 weeks when you look at it. Whatever your amount of meat is on your plate, make sure your carbohydrate portion is less. Okay? That's it. Keep it really, really simple. Ideally, if you really want to get tight with it, whatever this is, say that's 6 ounces, that should be 3. It should be about half. Okay? That's just during the week. The weekends, we're going to have a little more flexibility. All right? But when you're looking at this, if you go to Applebee's, Five Guys, you go to some place where there's a burger, could you eat a burger?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could you eat the bun, the burger, and then the fries?
Of course.
You will be one of the winners. Yeah. but what would be a way to do it? Come on, let's figure it out. Let's
Take the bun out.
Take the bun out, or take the fries out, or take one bun off and take half the fries out. Compromise just a little bit, guys.
Or you can half it.
No, because then what are you doing?
You can share it with friends.
Cutting your protein in half, and then you're gonna be hungry again. Yeah. So no, you still want to keep your protein out, but you would cut all the other parts out and half that. But it's good thinking, though. I like where you're going. Now. No, I'm not gonna get there. But no. Let's just say you eat your whole burger, cut the carbs out in half, going that way. What are some other things that we like? Tacos is a great option. Chipotle, guys, that's the one thing. We have a big staff. We have a lot of clients that kind of can share some different feedback. But what we found is when you do a Chipotle bowl, you almost get double the amount of meat as you get when you just do a burrito or a taco or any of those things. So what we do is we do the bowl with double meat, and we cut that into 2 meals. And it ends up being, it's 45 grams of protein, 20 carbs per half. You can't beat that, and it costs you $8 or $8.50. Nothing against Chris, it's half the price. But at the same time, you got to leave your house to go get it. He brings that shit to you. Okay? So a little different with that. So it really is. When you start looking at some of that stuff, I mean, there's so many healthy options that you can eat out, but you need to know what they are ahead of time, so that way when you get to the table, what do we normally order? That's comfortable to us, what we like. Country fried steak, extra gravy, all that stuff. All right. So you want to make
Wait,
sure.
you get extra gravy?
Extra gravy, yeah.
Wow.
No, not really. No. That would be the comfort, though.
I did not know you could.
So we can't
That
have
would be my
gravy?
go-to. What's that?
You can't have gravy?
You can't have gravy? That sounds like the worst thing ever. Let's talk about this. Okay, so let's talk about gravy. What's in gravy? What's in gravy? Flour
and fat.
Flour and fat. Where would be a good time for that?
Lunch.
Probably no time. Yeah, probably no time. Cheat day. I like that. And we will talk about cheat days because we didn't talk about that with everybody yesterday. Yeah, when you're looking at lunch, guys, don't draw a limit on yourself. Just ask yourself first, where's my protein coming from? Where are my carbs coming from? Let's try and have less carbs than we have protein. If you just start with that one simple change now for the next 6 weeks, you'll see a difference. I mean, again, you're talking about if you eat 3 times a day, if you eat 5 times a day, however it is, over the next 42 days, about 200 and something meals. You can really make an impact if you just start having just a little bit more protein than you had carbs. Because when you have more carbs than protein, you hit that blood sugar crash and you're hungry again, and you're hungry again, and you're hungry again. The whole point is to hold you over till that next meal, and then you already have that kind of somewhat planned, and you just eat it, all right? When we eat when we're hungry, when we eat when we're emotional, when we eat when we're anything besides what's already made for us, that's when we make a bad choice, all right? So if you start to kind of plan and look ahead, what's my next meal? It'll make everything else a whole lot easier. All right, dinner time. What's some dinner options?
Turkey burger.
Veggies.
That's diet food again.
I love
Who in here
it.
wants a turkey
Burgers.
burger?
That's what I
Well, I like them, but
Nothing wrong with a turkey burger. Why not a hamburger at dinner?
Because I don't like cows.
You don't eat, what's that? You eat that too? See, I like
How
her.
about hamburger
That's it.
helper? That's her favorite meal.
Hamburger helper, let's talk about that.
Gross.
No, so when you're talking about turkey, when you're talking about ground beef and stuff like that, so many people are like, oh, I eat turkey because it's healthier. Flip the label over, guys. There's more fat in ground turkey than there's in ground beef, as long as you're getting a decent ground beef. And I mean, I'm talking like there's double the amount of fat in your ground turkey than there is in lean ground beef. But most people think, oh, turkey's healthy, and they eat turkey. But they're eating 25 grams of fat and only 16 grams of protein. Okay? So you want to look at the label sometimes.
fish.
Just look it over. Fish, but that's no fat. That's boring. That sounds like diet food again.
Not if it's smothered in dressing.
Not if it's smothered in dressing. I like greens. Guys, let's think about this. So you can do at night, if you really had to, and again, all these options are great. I'm just messing with you on that. No, spaghetti would be the one you don't do, because that's carbs. So that would be the one that's out. Chicken wings, perfect. So we can go chicken wings, you can go steak, you can go salmon. Somebody brought up, or I brought up actually, last night, fried chicken. If you really had to have it, what would be the time of day to have it? If you were gonna do it?
Lunchtime.
No, dinner time. Dinner time. How are you gonna feel at 2 o'clock if you just had some fried chicken in your mouth? Please. So your fattier meats and your fattier things are gonna be okay. And most people are like, oh, I can't have dark meat. Oh, I can't have this. Yes, you can. Just have it at night with some vegetables and beans and different things that are gonna keep you full, but not with the carbs. So now we'll talk about cheat meals in a second. So you bring up spaghetti, you bring up pizza. You guys owe me. But you really want to make sure, again, like you're eating something that's going to keep you full. One of the biggest things that drives me crazy is when I meet somebody, they're frustrated. They've been going for so long, and I sit down and talk about what they eat, and they're like, I eat salads every single day, and I eat salad for lunch, and I eat salad for dinner. Because if you eat a salad for lunch, there's only going to be a certain amount of time that you can keep doing that for dinner, because you're just going to get bored of it, okay? You need food in the middle of the day. You need to keep your body going, all right? The more you can eat a balanced and healthy and bigger meal at lunchtime, the less chance you're going to eat a crappy meal at dinner time, all right? Because when you start feeling, you're like, oh, I don't want to cook tonight, or I have this, but this is already ready, like you're going to rationalize everything, okay? Start with a good breakfast, have a good lunch, make sure you have some healthy snacks in between, and it makes that dinner a whole lot easier to make a sacrifice of not having carbs at dinner time. Because lunchtime would be perfect. Spaghetti and meatballs, or spaghetti and chicken, spaghetti and something, that would be okay, all right? So your dinner time, guys, fajitas, quesadillas, anything like that, if you have a little tortilla shell, I'm okay with it. If you have to have just a little tiny bit of rice with it, I'm okay with it. I would think like a quarter cup would be a good amount, all right? But otherwise, it should really be focused around your meats, vegetables, beans, things along those lines, all right? Make sense a little bit? Yeah? Because
Now,
again,
this tortilla
where's
thing.
it gonna go? It's all gonna go to your spots you already have. What's that?
I said this tortilla thing because some of us don't like fake tortillas.
Don't like what?
Fake tortillas.
I don't know what a fake tortilla is.
The kind you get at the store.
Oh. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's all going to depend on your portion size again. Like at dinner time, you should probably just eliminate it. But I'm just saying, if somebody really needed to have something, yeah, if it's something small, it's not going to hurt you. Again, it's all the other stuff you eat along with it. As far as snacks, what are some different things that we can do at work? Let's talk about that, because that's going to be one of the spots where you make a mistake, or you're not going to have something available. What's that?
You want the truth? Like what we really eat for a snack?
I mean, yeah.
We should eat for a
Just so we can laugh a little bit, then we'll talk about good options. Yeah. What do you eat?
Gluten-free pretzels.
Gluten-free pretzels? Let's talk about that. Why are we doing gluten-free pretzels?
Because I have stomach issues and I've been trying to see if that would
Good
help.
answer then. All right, perfect. Guys, if you're eating gluten-free and you don't have any digestive issues, you're just paying more for the same food. Yeah. And here's the thing that happens with this is when you take out gluten, you need to have something that keeps the product together. So they add one of two things: more sugar because that makes it sticky, or more fat because that holds it together. So when you're doing a gluten-free product, unless you need gluten-free, don't do it because you're just eating more sugar, more fats than what you need to have. All right, but good answer. So with those pretzels, that would be good for like the 10 o'clock time, 2 o'clock time. What could you put with it so it's not just that quick blood sugar crash and a drop?
I have almonds and
Hummus.
She said almond. Oh, hold on, that's perfect. So she said almond. So if you did a little bit of fat, a little bit of carbs, would that be a good option? I'd say yes. Yeah. So it's sometimes you think, oh my God, well I don't really eat more. Well, one, eating those almonds is going to stop you from eating as much pretzels, and then two, it's going to keep you from eating again in 30 minutes because when you eat those pretzels, one, they're salty, two, they're carbs. You're just going to reach right back for it. One second. The second thing she said was hummus. Hummus would be a great option. Pretzels and hummus. That's basically beans. It's going to have a little bit of protein, which isn't going to be a complete protein, but it's a healthy thing. So hummus would be a great option also. Yes.
You answered it, thank you.
Did you say hummus? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I was just gonna ask for something besides nuts, because I can't eat nuts.
Yeah, and actually somebody else had a nut allergy as well, yeah. So, and that's gonna be a common thing, guys. The one thing actually she brought up was the fact that in the recipe book, there's a lot of things that have nuts in them. Like, you guys know what you can and can't have. Don't put nuts in it, all right? Just make the recipe without it or do something different. Don't say it's my fault. Like, you guys have to read a little bit first. So, just make sure on that. So as far as snacks, that's a great option. I like the pretzels. I like that with the hummus. We have some people, as long as you can actually have something at your station or where you guys work, but even doing like Greek yogurt dip where you take plain Greek yogurt, not something flavored, but any of the Hidden Valley packets, the buttermilk ranch, the French onion, any of the different packets, you just mix that directly in like you would with sour cream and it tastes exactly the same. If anybody's ever had plain Greek yogurt, it tastes just like sour cream. So you can mix that, again, if you had to with those pretzels. What's that?
And with your tacos instead of sour.
Yeah, and for your tacos, instead of sour cream, you can put your Greek yogurt. So anything where you would normally put sour cream, that's a great option is to put Greek yogurt. But you can also dip vegetables, you can dip fruit, you can actually make like a fruit yogurt type thing. But there's a lot of things you can do with the Greek yogurt, and it's really, really versatile. And again, you're gonna have 25 grams of protein, 0 fat, or sour cream or any other type of dip, you have 25 grams of fat, 0 protein.
How about yogurt and almonds?
Yogurt almonds are a great option now. When would that be good for? Like what time of day?
I actually have it as a snack, morning snack.
As long as you don't hit a crash by noon, I think it's a great snack. Yeah. Do you have it with like any of the fruit in it, like the yogurt with the fruit, or just?
I have it with yogurt with the fruit in it.
And that's where your carbs come in. So that's a perfect snack for you. Now, as long as it didn't have too much of the fruit or too much of the sugar, you're going to be perfect. You can even do that right before bed because that's now going to keep that fire slowly burning throughout the night. It's a little protein, little fat, and it'll keep that thing going. Okay, so that's a great option.
What about string cheese?
String cheese, love it. Yeah, now they're not all created equal. Flip the label over. And we talked about this in one of the videos. Sargento's has like 4 grams or 5. Is that the one you use, Sargento's? I never remember the string cheese. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 grams of fat. A regular thing of string cheese, some of them have 12 to 16 grams of fat. So you want to look for a good option. Now, I would never say you got to do fat-free or anything else, but guys, if you have 2 things right next to each other and one obviously has less fat and it's the same serving size, like go with that option. That'll be better.
Quick question then. Looking at the serving size or the nutrition, what would you pick over what? Fat over sugar?
It depends what time of day. All depends what time of day. So when you're looking at that, I mean, if I know that, like you guys are going to be working, this isn't going to fall on me. You guys know you're going to be working out at like 5:15, 5:30 with us. So if you're doing something like that and it came down to it, I would probably say the carb would be a better option before the workout than the fat would. Because it's going to give you kind of that boost to get through, but it's not still going to be in your system after the workout. You're going to burn it off by that point.
What about fruit? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but.
Yeah, before activity is awesome. First thing in the morning, snack times at 2:30, those times would be great. As far as having it like at the end of lunch, I necessarily wouldn't because you're already going to want to put a longer breakdown or longer digesting carb in that meal, like a rice or a potato, and you don't want to make that what sets your numbers off by having a lot of carbs as opposed to more protein. So I would save the fruit for, say you normally get tired at 2:30 every day, and here's something really good to do, guys, especially if you have like a desk calendar on your phone. Every time that you hit that feeling throughout the day, mark it on your phone or mark it on your desk calendar. And you're going to notice that every single day there's going to be a spot between like 9:45, 10:30, and a spot between like say 1:45 and 2:45 every day that you hit a certain spot. Just set an alarm in your phone for 30 minutes before that and make sure you have that piece of fruit, make sure you have those pretzels, make sure you have that something. Because what happens when we wait till we're hungry? We mess up.
You binge eat.
Binge. Or we take that good thing and we eat so much of it, it's not a good thing anymore. Okay? So really, make sure you're eating kind of ahead of your schedule. Like, don't wait till you're hungry to make a choice. Like, eat it ahead of time. So it's a really easy thing to do, especially people who work at a desk. Write down those times. Yes, that's a
What if you
super
don't
high
get
hand.
tired?
Then you
Oh,
learn
look
that.
at me. Yeah, I
Or
don't.
you don't, like, you don't have that, like, oh, my sugar is low, or I don't have anything in my system.
You're like a robot.
No, well, no. She already has her snacks built into her certain time.
Oh, that's
That's
why.
why she doesn't get
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay.
But what if you don't eat
You're right.
snacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what you had the meal before. I mean, it really does. Like, some people eat a large enough and balanced enough, like, protein, carb, fat at breakfast, lunch,
I
dinner
had
that
4
they don't.
enchiladas for lunch.
So probably had a lot of cheese, right?
Not that much.
No?
No.
Yeah, really, as long as it was like meat and just a tortilla wrap, I can't imagine there's anything else for the enchiladas, right? Sour cream all over?
Yes.
That's probably what it is. So what does the fat do, guys? A little bit of carbs, a little energy. You had your meat, which is your protein, that's gonna keep it longer. And unfortunately, even though it wasn't the best choice with the sour cream, that fat is gonna hold you over for quite a while. It really will. But take that fat away and add refried beans, and now you have a healthier option, and it's gonna last just as long or longer.
Okay.
Yeah. So then again, if you would have swapped it out with even like doing the Greek yogurt, man, you're adding now like a healthier option. I mean, one good choice, guys, every single day is gonna add up to a monster change. If you start making all these little changes too, man, that just adds up even more. But make sure they're things that you can maintain. If you hate the taste of Greek yogurt on your taco instead of having sour cream, don't do it, because then you're gonna end up like going and
Right.
over-consuming whenever you come off of whatever you're doing. Okay? Does that answer snacks? Mm-hmm. That stuff? Guys, is this simple? Yes, please.
I just want to know about, I get deli meat. I have a 6-year-old, my husband and I, it's real quick and easy on the weekends for us to just make
Yeah.
sandwiches. And of course, delicious.
Do you want to know if it's okay?
Yeah, it's not.
What is it? It's a protein, right?
Well, I don't know how healthy it is because it's smashed up.
Yeah, let's talk about the whole thing. First, it falls into a
Natural
protein
meat.
category, right? So it falls into a protein category. That's cool. If you took like lunch meat and a McDonald's hamburger, is lunch meat better?
Yeah.
If you took lunch meat and a Lunchable, is it better?
Yes.
If you took lunch meat and a frozen pizza, yeah. So again, it's choosing your lesser of evils. Yes, there's going to be some sodium in it, but as long as you are active, you drink some water each day, like our bodies are all young enough in here to handle that. Now, if you have any blood pressure issues or anything like that, then you want to make sure you're obviously consuming a little bit more water if you did have something with more sodium in it. But your body's meant to balance itself out. With the water thing, I will mention that right now before we get kind of into anything further. Fluids. As somebody said, I didn't mention anything about fluids. Really, guys, it just comes down to avoiding sugar. So, like, if you drink coffee, coffee's cool. If you drink tea, tea's cool. It's gonna be like your fruit juices. It's gonna be what you put in your coffee. It's gonna be what you put in your tea. So those are gonna be the spots where you're gonna have to maybe make some adjustments if you're a sweet tea person or something along those lines. Now, I drink Crystal Light sweet tea or the lemon iced tea. If you have a strong disdain for artificial sweeteners, that's cool, but don't choose diabetes as the other option, okay? Sugar isn't the better choice of aspartame, I'm sorry, it just isn't, all right? So choose nothing if that's your case, but diabetes is the worst disease you can get on this planet, all right? If you get that, then you have liver issues. Liver issues turn to cholesterol issues turn to blood pressure, and now you're in the entire medical model. It's true. You enter in through one of those four, and you end up with all four within 5 years. It's guaranteed pretty